What's up?
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Awesome. I'm going to turn the volume up really quickly. Gotta love technology.
Oh, yeah.
There it goes. Hello.
There it is.
Oh
What
my
is
God.
up?
How are you? Oh my God. Like there's
Oh,
daylight still out there.
oh yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's definitely still shorts weather here for me.
Oh my God. Lucky you. Oh my God. Well, thank you for joining. Welcome to the Rose Hour.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm so psyched to be here.
Yay! So it looks like you already enjoying happy hour already on the West Coast.
Oh yeah. No, I've been tasting all day, so now it's really happy hour basically.
Well, lucky you. Well, we're excited because Tank Garage Winery, like you guys are hilarious. Like you guys have some of the most amazing like graphics on Instagram. You guys have some amazing wines, but like Bertus, like am I saying it right? Bertus?
Bertus or Bear.
Bertus, sorry.
That's all
You
good.
have an amazing story. So we want to learn about you. We want to learn about Tank Garage Winery. So like tell
Oh,
us
you're making
about
us
you.
blush
How did you
here.
get into the wine industry?
Yeah, so I have kind of a kind of a little bit of a strange story, I guess, to most people who are here in the US. But I mean, I grew up in Cape Town in South Africa, born and raised there, and my dad's family grew up in Stellenbosch, and I was kind of fortunate enough to follow in the family footsteps, and I went to boarding school there in Stellenbosch, kind of an all boys prep school, very traditional South African thing to do. And I was fortunate enough to have a wine appreciation course in eighth grade. So I don't think I was 14 yet. I think I was still on my way to 14.
Whoa! Wait,
Yeah.
okay. And I know other countries have an appreciation at a younger age for wine and spirits, and
Yep.
us Americans, we extra. 13, essentially, you were drinking wine.
Yeah. Well, so like I said, my dad grew up around it, and so one of their favorite pastimes was going to wine tastings, and I have these very fond memories of running around vineyards and wineries when I was very young, because it was one of their favorite things to do on the weekends, and yeah. But so here I end up at an all boys prep school, and I have this wine appreciation course. Now it sounds very like wine tasting, but it was more so a little bit of theory, visiting a couple of wineries and getting to see behind the scenes a little bit. So it's very much an introduction, but I was there I was in eighth grade, and it was amazing because it was kind of structured. Our classes were structured in a 2 week kind of schedule, and one class every 2 weeks was an enrichment module. So you could choose, archaeology or aviation or all sorts of random things. And so I saw wine appreciation kind of right down at the bottom, and I went, well, that sounds pretty interesting. Like, why don't I kind of delve a little bit deeper and see what that's about? And so that was eighth grade. Ninth grade, because I had taken that, I was able to do a winemaking kind of module, and we were a group of us went out, picked grapes, took it to took it to a winery of someone who had been to the who was an actual old student of the high school and had his own cellar, and saw a little bit of the process, and then that wine was made for us then by this winemaker and turned into like a school wine, basically.
That's crazy. Like
Yeah.
mind blown.
Yeah, and
Wow, that's crazy. So like
the
you're
legal drinking age in South Africa is 18. So I was pretty lucky then to realize that it's an actual possible job that you could do at that young age, and that's when I kind of knew I wanted to be a winemaker at the age of 15, and I kind of chased the dream from there.
so okay. So we gotta go back to eighth grade real quick because
Yeah.
that's still blowing my mind. You're in eighth grade and you're taking a wine appreciation class.
Yep.
What is that like? Like, how are you appreciating wine in eighth grade?
Oh, it was pretty wild, but it was very much, I knew it was like agricultural, and I knew that it was I had this romantic idea, I guess, of which a lot of it is true, where we don't spend all our days in an office, and you get to walk around outside, you get to work with your hand. It's pretty physical, and all those things. So I didn't quite realize how much there goes into making wine until I took that course. Because I saw the vineyards and I saw the cellars and I kind of saw the end product, but that whole kind of middle section was kind of lost on me until I took that, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit. And so some of the theory was just how do white wines get made, how do red wines get made, and kind of very basic stuff, but still kind of piqued my interest so much that I was like, wow, this is pretty badass.
Wow, I'm just like floored, because out of all the people we've talked to, no one has ever given us 8th grade, right? They're like,
yeah, I guess unless you're born into it, it's like, yeah, it's pretty rare. So I feel incredibly blessed and fortunate to have found this path so early in my life. And yeah, there's still days where you wake up a little bit and kind of like, whoa, this is here I am sitting in Napa and making some pretty alternative and fun wines compared to a lot of people, and we get to have, like you said, so much fun doing it. So there's no boring day in our schedule.
I can tell you guys have a lot of fun. Like, I love watching your page. Like, you guys have some of the best content out there, and like, you guys make wine like interactive and fun.
Yeah.
So, like,
thank you.
Yeah, shout out to you guys for that, because I think like there's this new culture too, like, not only with millennials, but Gen Z, and like, wine used to be such like a, bourgeois thing. Like you had to have a certain palate for it. And like, if you did a box of wine, oh my God, like God,
how dare you?
Yeah. But now people like, box of wine, give me a can,
Yeah, exactly. No, I love it. I'm so happy, being in this industry now for over 10 years, just seeing the amount of change that's happened, and how much the digital age has changed things. It's and definitely, I hate to use the word democratized it, but it really has. It's like, you could still follow the publications and the critics and all that if that's your game and if that's what you're into. And I think maybe there's a time and a place for those things, but I love that it's definitely kind of like playing to our strengths. For us is, taking the stuffiness and the pretense out of wine, and just showing people that it can be really fun, and it doesn't have to be, white tablecloth and decanters, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like that for you to have a good time with it.
No, and I love that you don't have to do that. Like, there's a time and place, but like, it could be Taco Tuesday and you can bust out a bottle of wine or a box of wine or a can of wine.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
Exactly. Or get it on tap. Yeah.
Yes, you could get it on tap. And when I saw that, like, my mind was blown. Like, wine on tap, like, literally put it in.
Yeah.
Let me up the IV with that. I love it.
Yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
So I know there's a lot of people like who are interested in learning more about you. So I want to do like a quick Q&A of you. Like,
all right. I'm ready.
Your favorite type of wine?
Oh, I'm a super like emotional drinker. Like, I have to be like, it all depends on my mood. If it's a sunny day, I want something crisp and refreshing. So it's normally like rosé, or like an aromatic white, or like a higher acid kind of white. Then, if it's evening, like, I'm still here for white wine all the time, but then I'm generally going for something a little bit more crushable, kind of lower tannin content wines, like more on the fun, like Gamay and Beaujolais, Alpine type wines. And then, I'm also always here for like, a well-aged cab or well-made cab. And but I think in the winter time, I'm definitely a curry and a stew person. So as much as I am an emotional drinker, I'd also love making food. And so then it's all time for like slow cooked braised meats and things like that. And so then I'm definitely reaching for like Mourvedre or Syrah, or like I said, like a a kind of real nice, well-made, well-rounded, long finish cab.
Ooh, okay, so we're gonna do some pairings here because like you went for it, food and wine. I know
Yeah.
people want to know, and you seem like to be the connoisseur that understands who and what go what. Okay, so if you're having like grilled cheese and like tomato soup, staple for the winter, what are you drinking?
Ooh. Ooh, those to me, it's like you don't want to overwhelm it. Like a good grilled cheese, like you want that to be kind of the star. I'm generally like I would go for something like some like beefier Gamay or like Mourvedre from like south of France, where there's some great domestic examples. But I'm kind of like leaning in that direction, or Italian. You know, I never want to overlook Italian wines. There's so much diversity there, and I find those wines so interesting and compelling. So I could also see like some Sangiovese, or like maybe not quite like super high acid Barbera, but maybe a little bit of a rounder Barbera. Something like that could be super fun.
Yeah, and it also depends what kind of cheese too, because like
Yeah.
if you know some people do a little too much with the cheese, and then like then it's like and then if you got bacon in it, it's like oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, it's a lot. There's so much going on there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like too much going on. Okay, now what if you take it up and you're doing like a whole Mediterranean feast,
Oh.
right?
See,
What are you
I'm
drinking?
super here. I'm super here for like the French and the Italians. Like they know what's up. So there's aperitivo and there's aperitifs and there's digestifs at the end. Like there's the full kind of range. So I'm super here for like a course out meal. So I'm like a start the meal off with some like bubbles. It's always never a bad idea. Then I tend to go like oysters and muscadet, or like oysters and like Riesling, like classic kind of pairing. And let's see, I'm super here for like Chablis, like a good Chablis,
Ooh.
tends to work with so many dishes. So I love reaching for like, kind of a not too heavily oaked Chardonnay sometimes can really do the trick. Yeah, and then on the red side, it all depends on your mains, but finding something that's versatile is kind of always key. Something that has not just like fruit forward, but has spice and some depth to the flavors and textures and stuff. Like I think there's a lot to be said for wines like that.
Okay, and there's a lot with the Chablis. When you mentioned that, there are a ton of parts that went up. So we gotta go down that. What's your favorite? What's your favorite Chablis?
Oh, I'm like just brocard or something simple. I'm not too picky. I don't need the most expensive stuff. We're very fortunate here in Napa. We have a couple of great French restaurants, so there's usually a great kind of value proposition in that section that kind of always works. And French onion soup or a good tomato bisque generally like really hit the spot.
I mean, Napa, you can't go wrong. You guys have everything. It's like the mecca of everything amazing. Like,
Yeah,
come
I know. It's
on.
like we travel sometimes and we go visit other places, and then we come back to Napa and we go, you realize how spoiled you are just with the level of restaurants that are here, and that knock on wood, most of them have been able to weather this kind of crazy storm that we're going through.
Yeah. Okay, last one. And you should know where I'm going to go here because we got to go to South Africa. Your favorite
Yeah.
South African dish, what would you
Ooh.
pair it with wine-wise as well?
So I bring my appreciation for curry with me from South Africa. There's some great curry history and tradition. The spice route running from Europe along the coast there up to India and Malaysia and stuff. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of curry, and I'm always a big fan of wines that surprise you. So I tend to reach for like really spicy wines, like very peppery, spicy Syrah, or like wines like Mourvedre that tend to have a lot of spice. Because what you end up having is if you have a dish that has so much spice, and then a wine with spice, you start appreciating the other flavors that are there because the dish is already so spicy. And so, yeah, there's some great kind of examples of wines like that go really well with that kind of food.
So
And of
I'm
course,
getting into the spicy wine. That's like a new territory for me. So like,
yeah.
I'm
Well,
starting it, and
you've got a really
it's
fun
interesting.
a fun wine there that definitely leans more into that side. Benefits of solitude that we'll speak about a little bit later.
Oh yes, okay, good. Because I'm trying it. I'm going for it. Also, I feel like it's going to help me with my sinus issue. So
Yeah,
clears
definitely.
up sinuses. That's what we're going to be
Yeah.
here for. Okay, so like if you could go anywhere in the world to just sit and drink wine, where would it be?
So I've been sipping on rosé here, and it takes me back. My wife and I spent a week of our honeymoon in Provence, in a little tiny town called Cassis, right on the Med, and it was just the most magical little place with an awesome little harbor area, great restaurants, and just you know the most expensive bottle of rosé on a list at a restaurant was like $15. Like it was like magic. So kind of
Wow.
just 3-4 bottles of rosé a day with the sunset on the Med. Sounds pretty magical to me.
I'm here for that, and I mean
Yeah.
all the views. I mean, yeah, why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing I love about wine. We've been kind of cooped up, my wife and I. We're hoping this year is a bit more of a travel year, but the past 2 years have been pretty homebound for us and a lot of people. So, how else can you travel but with a fun bottle of wine, either international or from tank. If you can't make it to California, bring the California sunshine to you.
I love that. I love that. 'Cause California, I mean, I'm looking at your your background, and I'm like, oh, you can still see the sun is out. I mean,
You've got a pretty beautiful view. Yeah, it's
it's a
it's
nice
cool in a
view,
different
but
way.
it's definitely cold and gloomy.
Yeah. No, we've had like the most epic string of sunsets here, these winter sunsets that just go for like, 40 minutes, and it's just this array of colors that just light up the sky. It's been pretty fun.
I mean, everyone's California dreaming right now. Like we are going to be California dreaming. And since you took a step, we might as well get into it now because
Yes,
you guys
ma'am.
sent me some amazing wine, and I'm excited because there's a rosé. But like, let's walk through the wines you sent because they're all so beautiful. Like the labels are so cute. I don't want to say super fetch, but I'm gonna say it. They're fetch because we're gonna make fetch happen. So
I
this
love it.
first one, do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, so we'll start at the top. We sent you Make Money as our shorthand, but it's so the front label says make love, make art, make out, make money. And it is our Napa Valley red blend. We only do 1 or 2 Napa Valley red wines every year. So it's, even though we are in California, in Napa, it's one of the it's not one of the most produced wines in our lineup. And so this is a blend, all 5 Bordeaux varieties. So Cab Franc, Merlot, Malbec, and Petit Verdot. And so 2019 vintage, really fun wine. We're kind of leaning into less of the over the top ripe and a little bit more on the spicy, earthy, perfume side on top of the fruit. So really kind of a fun one that we'll dive deeper into.
Ooh, and I just like it because it's all about like dreaming and like making something, right? Like,
Yeah, and it's like kind of a celebration of like you do you, like ignore what people think of you and just kind of like do what makes you happy.
Yeah, and I love a drip. I love a good drip.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we had one of our longtime collaborators shoot the photo for us, and it's this cool kind of alley scene. So if you pop on our website, there's a really fun description, and you get to see a little bit behind the scenes of the shoot as well.
See, I'm telling you, y'all, Tank Garage Winery, great content. And I love the label because
Yeah.
I love gold foil. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, I already love it. Okay, and so the next one, okay, this is so California.
Yeah, exactly. Like a little bit of like a sun wash. You can already basically smell the beach when you're looking at that. So this one is called The Benefits of Solitude. This one is Cinso, Pinot, Grenache, and Mourvedre. And kind of like I said, this is very much going to be, you know, our exploration and our discussion of spicy and spicier wines tonight.
Here for the spice.
And it's also 2019.
Yes. Excited. And of course, while we're at Rose Hour,
yes,
baby, one more time. Look at this. Oh my God, this is so 1981. I love it.
Little crushed velour, little velvet action.
Yes. I feel like I'm in a rap video. I love it.
Oh, it's awesome. So Forever Baby 2020 Rosé, and this is 51% Grenache, 31% Cinso, 16% Mourvedre, and 2% Counois.
It's so beautiful. Like all these bottles are so like the labels, the artistry, like the thought that was put into it. Like it's so like, yes, I'm making fetch happen. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. And it's under screw cap. You know, we don't want anything getting in the way of having a good time.
Well, I'm about to crack this rosé and have a drink.
There you go.
Yes. So I'm pouring the rosé up. And so what notes? I don't know. Okay, I'm not a sommelier. I'm a 101 person, right? I'm not a W set. I'm a girl that's been drinking wine since college. So
I love it.
I just tell people what I think it tastes like.
Yeah, perfect. Well, yeah, you lead us in. I hate, I prefer going second because I want to hear your impressions first before I unload my, you know, my random thoughts.
Well, I'm really bad at like adjectives. So
okay.
I will just tell you this. I'm one of those people like, I like it or I don't. I'll drink the whole bottle or I won't. And I'm going to drink the whole bottle.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah, this one we want, you know, if you have a table full of wine, this is the one that we want to be the first one that's empty without people realizing it. So we want this is like the crushable, like, you know, there's layers, there's complexity. And I guess this is sort of true for a lot of our wines. You know, there's no barrier to enjoyment. Like first and foremost, it has to be delicious. And then after that, if you want to go and find the complexity and the layers, it'll be there for you, but it should be delicious. And, you know, we get to have a lot of fun with a lot of different winemaking styles, but overall, you know, even if we make an orange wine, it's not going to be the most esoteric, like weird thing. And so that's kind of the fun thing is that we have this ability where we're working with over 30 different grape varieties to make all these wines. And so there's a pretty high chance that people won't have heard about some of the varieties that we're working with. But, you know, hopefully we've been able to build up their trust that they'll, you know, buy it or try it. Or that's kind of why people join our wine club is it's never the same.
Well, so, okay. Wait, you said a mouthful there that I'm like, wait a minute. Like, one, you have 30 different grapes. You guys grow all these grapes?
Nope. We don't own any vineyards ourselves. So we have, yeah, well, we've been working since 2012, basically, for Tanquerage's relationships across California, trying to find growers who own property and have, you know, really compelling vineyards and varieties that work, that we get to play with, and we bring it back to Napa and we make the wines at our winery here.
That's very smart. And what that also does is like, you know, help with supply chain. It helps small business owners. It helps the ecosystem. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So many people. That's
we
so smart. I love that.
Yeah, so it's super fun,
I'm really
and so
enjoying it.
all of Tank Garage, all the wines at Tank Garage are always blends, and like I said, we won't repeat a wine ever. So if it sells out, we have in the past, there have been certain examples of things that had maybe 2 or 3 vintages, but right now in our lineup, like if it's sold out, it won't be repeated. And so that's kind of a tricky sell, you know what I mean? Like if you have a wine club that you're trying to build, I guess we've built up our, our sales point is that like there is no consistency, which is like the fun thing, I guess. Like it's always fresh.
Wait, no, but you're consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly. And we're like I said, even if someone might not have heard about the variety or whatever, like we think the wines are delicious, and we hope that people find them that way. And that's kind of like the draw, is that it's an introduction either to a style, like the spicier side, or orange wine or carbonic white wines, or all these things. So yeah, we get to have a lot of fun with all those elements.
You keep blowing my mind. Like it's just like it's all in pieces, all on the ground right now, because literally, like hearing that you guys don't repeat wines, because of course that's great, but like one, that's a lot of recipe keeping.
Yep.
That's a big book. And then you are like a mad scientist. Like
yeah.
You're literally in the lab, like literally like, well, I can't make that cookie again. So like how do you get all these ideas and become so creative to not do a repeat?
I don't know. I think it's tricky. Like I said, I think some of the best advice I got, and I got this when I was doing, wine appreciation course back in the beginning of our conversation. The best advice I got was exactly, and I'll never forget this, but our the lecturer basically said, your sensory perception is a muscle, and if you don't pay attention to it and train it, and if you walk past someone mowing a lawn and you don't take that moment to say, okay, what does freshly cut grass smell like, or what does a lemon leaf smell like, or what does paprika smell like, you won't ever be able to develop that. And so many people never intentionally focus on that. And so I've been doing that from a very young age. And then, of course, tasting wine from a young age. South Africa is a very European and almost old world styled like country in terms of its production. And so it leans that way. So I bring, I guess, more of a European palate than a New World palate into my winemaking thoughts. And then learning about all, like making California wines and not fighting some of the things that, are inherently going to happen here. And then, I don't know, I think it's maintaining that curiosity, I guess, is the only way to do it. And was able to do that through some international travel and visiting wine regions. But for now, we're also very fortunate here in Napa to have a couple of really great wine shops that are not just focused on Napa wines, but they also focus on supplying wine to the locals who drink Napa wine all the time and are looking to expand their horizons and keep things interesting.
That makes sense. And because Napa is such a huge wine, connoisseur and, drinking community, you have to keep things, relatively new and innovative. But it's so crazy because and you probably don't even know this number off the top of your head. How many wines have you created?
So since I moved here 10 years ago, it's been between 40 and 70 wines every year. So
every year?
Yeah. So I think it's like at least over 500 different wines in the last 10 years.
Okay. And people are like, and that's why I'm a member. You got your first endorsement right there. Yeah. And the okay. Well, so we have testimonials coming in. Wow. Okay, so So we gotta get the rosés here.
It's been a wild ride, but anyway, so yeah. So like I said, a week of my honeymoon with my wife was spent in Provence. So rosé is incredibly near and dear to my heart, and we're very much leaning into this Provençal style. So you'll see it has a very, very pale color, you know, like the paler, the better for me. So, for me, the main focus is elegance and freshness. And so I want to make sure that all the grapes that go into this wine were picked with the express goal of making rosé. So no saignée, you know, we picked for freshness, and we picked when the grapes tasted great, and transported to our winery. Very gentle handling. Most of it goes into the press whole cluster, so there's no destemming, no crushing, and that is why we have such limited color pickup from the skin contact time, which is, you know, a couple of hours basically. And then stainless steel fermented all of it, and yeah, we block malolactic fermentation to preserve the freshness, and basically picked, generally speaking, in the early to mid August until kind of like third week in August, and then post fermentation we rack it off, you know, sort of dirty. We like a little bit of fine lees contact to build some complexity and preserve the wine, and then we are gearing up to bottle the 2021 in about 2 weeks. So we bottle in January, so it only gets, you know, a couple of months in stainless steel, and then it goes to bottle and goes out into the world.
That's just crazy. Like, one, this color is so pretty. I wish I had, like, well, the lighting in here, I'm sorry.
Well, I can try. Yeah, I can kind of like try to show people, but like, yeah, that's kind of the idea.
Oh, beautiful. So those of you who are planning weddings, because I hear there's a lot of weddings happening in 2022, especially for 2022. So that date's coming up. This is what you want, girls, guys.
This is it right
whoever.
Here.
This is a beautiful color because it's close to Valentine's Day too. So
yeah, exactly.
Boom, get you and your boo some rosé for you to do what you do. Boom, right here. It's gorgeous. I love the way it smells. It's really good. Like, I don't know if you saw me keep pouring while you were talking.
Oh yeah, no, this is me. Like I'm like almost halfway through a bottle, but that's why I love it, because it's this is 11% alcohol, so it's on the light side. It's crisp, it's fresh, and you can drink a lot of it.
I will have a headache in the morning, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, this is good.
So the things I love. So there are 4 vineyards in the mix for this wine. So it's mainly sourced from it's all sourced from the Sierra foothills. So why I love sourcing from up there is because there's a bigger portion of, you know, Napa has become dominated by Cab. So we go outside of Napa, not only for the grape varieties, but also for the soils and the terroir, basically. And so why I love going there is there are decomposed granite soils, and these real sandy-ish decomposed granite soils tend to emphasize minerality if you are picking the right variety at the right time. And so what I really always want in our rosé is that kind of crushed seashell element, that mineral element in there, like almost like a little savory, a little spicy. And so that's what I get in this, and I love that. So it's not just this kind of fruit forward wine. There's more to it.
Yeah, I will say that, like, it's not like fruity. Like, again, I'm horrible at adjectives. That's one thing in law school that they were like, "Girl, don't write that stuff." Just
so you unlearned it. No,
I'm all about facts. This is good. Like, that's why I'm like, this is delicious. This is not delicious. This is delicious.
Thank you.
But it's just like there's so many different like tastes that are going off in my mouth, and I'm like, I don't know how to describe it. But like when you say like the seashell type taste and minerals, I'm like, okay, I get that. Like, I don't know who writes these things, but like I'm like, whoever writes them, I need to talk to them. But like, I really do understand like what you're saying, and I'm tasting it, right? Because I don't get like, there's some rosés where it's like, it's really, really like heavy on like citrus and like flower, like florally, you know, like taste.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not getting that, and I like that. And you know, I
Yeah.
feel like I can not only drink this with a lot of meals, but like it could be really cold outside, like today, and I'm good with this. You know, like
Yeah,
it's
no, and I'm so happy you brought that
year
up because
round.
I don't think exactly like there is no rosé season. Like it's always rosé season for me, especially with wines like these. And so that's why I'm so happy that you're tasting this now. Whereas if you had this in February, it would be way more on that fresh fruit, floral, all of that side of things. And so it's kind of nice to see how it evolves and it becomes a little bit more, you know, a little bit deeper. There's a little bit more to it now, if you have the patience to put a little bit away.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have some patience. Not with this bottle tonight.
Too late for this
Sorry.
one. Yeah.
But like it's really good. So anybody out there who likes rosé, and clearly for those who are watching the Rosé Hour, you like rosé. So like this is a really good rosé, and like
Thank you.
order it, like buy it, get it shipped, go on. You're on the interwebs right now, so go ahead and just buy it. Like it's worth it. Like it's worth it.
Thank you.
Do it now. That's why I told people bring your wallets. I'm like QVC. Bring your wallets. Just, you know, have your phone, have your iPad, have your laptop. Order while you're watching.
Have it ready to go. Yeah. And our team has done an amazing job. You know, Tank Garage is only available online. It's not available in any store. So you either have to come to our tasting room, buy it online, or join our wine club, you know. And so, but they've done an amazing job because we ship to pretty much everywhere that you legally are allowed to ship to.
Listen, and I'm in DC. So if you can get it in DC, you can get it anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we were one of the first people to get into, I forget which state it is, but it was one of the trickiest states that like literally had just opened up to DTC shipping, and we just got in like 2 months ago.
It probably was it.
Like, Alabama. It's Alabama.
Yes, I heard Alabama because like they have like this thing where it's like, and it's like a lot of states where it's like the state sells the liquor, and so like you have to go through the state in order to buy it.
No, it's super tricky, but the GM and marketing team they figured it out, thankfully, and probably our compliance company, but you know, we like to applaud them.
Look at y'all, you know, being pioneers in the wine and spirits industry.
You got to give the people what they want.
That's right. They want Tank Garage Winery in Alabama. We're here for it. So I know we only have a few more moments, and I know people are really excited to learn more. They know that you guys have this amazing forever baby rosé.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have other rosés? And I know you mentioned that you're coming out with one in a couple weeks, well, months. But like, do you have any out there currently? I know that like you stop whenever you stop because they are what they are. But do you have any additional rosés that are available for people now?
This is the only rosé we made in 2020. There have been times where we've made two different rosés, and it comes down to, you know, what we taste in the winery once we're making the wines. We might have another one coming out this year, and our boy Ed says there is still some Forever Baby if anyone is interested. But we might or might not be making two again in 2021. And so, you know, it all comes down to how does it taste? Does it taste unique enough, and does it taste interesting enough to make two rosés? And then thankfully, you know, we also play around with skin contact wines. And so sometimes those tend to be kind of like rosés with a little bit more oomph, a little bit more structure. But those are always kind of fun to check out. So even if we're not purposely making a rosé, there are rosé-ish wines in the lineup.
I love how you say structure. Do tell more about this structure.
Well, no, yeah. It's like time on the skins. You're gonna get tannins. You're gonna get mouthfeel, and I'm kind of always here for it because it makes it makes the wines a little bit more interesting, and it gives you a little bit more it gives you something to chew on in a way. Like it's having especially on the white wine side, when we do skin contact, we pick the wines a little bit riper than we would for kind of traditional white wine. So the flavor profile is also very different. You get more into like the riper tropical side of things with peach and apricot and things like that. So it's really interesting kind of having expressions like that.
Ooh, I'm excited. I mean, like, I know that like it's option potentially, but like, ooh, I love structure. That's that OCD type A personality of me. I love structure. So
yeah.
Well, well, I know people are excited about all the amazing things you guys do at Tank Garage Winery. Are there any upcoming things that you guys want to talk about? Let us know. I know COVID has been really hard. And you guys are surviving, so I want to just give a shout out to you guys as small businesses.
Thank you.
To do the undertaking of surviving, going on 3 years of this, it's been very hard. So just all the love and support to you all for that. But just anything you guys want to put out there that you guys are doing about your tasting room or anything upcoming that you want to share with everyone.
Yeah, no, thank you for that opportunity and the shout out. You know, I know the team has been working incredibly hard, so I know it means a lot. I think, you know, in general, yeah, just please keep supporting us. If you can make it out. I know traveling is really difficult right now, and it's hard to plan into the future. But we're here. We're excited to at some point hopefully have some events again. Those have been it's been quite a while since we had an event. We almost had one last year, and then thought better of it at the time and made the responsible decision. So yeah, I just sign up, tankgaragewinery.com, sign up for the mailing list, stay up to date on everything we're doing. The wine club is a really fun, you know, way to make sure you get access to all the special things that we do, because there are certain items that are smaller production that don't just generally make it out, and also a way to guarantee that you're going to get the good stuff, because our productions are pretty limited and, like I said, one-off. And yeah, if you're ever just in the mood to talk to someone, just call up the winery. There's a great crew up there manning the phones and just down to you know, brighten up your day and see how they can make your life, bring some of that California sunshine into your home.
Yay! Well, I know I need it, because I will tell you this. When you guys were like, you will be a part of the Rosé Hour, I've been playing all California songs every morning when I wake up. So this morning, awesome. I don't know if you guys know Colonel Loud, that with T.I. and all them is like, okay. California, California. So that was like the theme song for the last 2 days. And I'm like, that's so excited, awesome, because I'm coming to Napa and I'm going to come see you guys once Omicron gets himself together. So
yeah, exactly. And yeah, we'll have you over. We'll do some barrel tasting. We'll have some fun.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. We had so much fun. And don't forget to follow Tank Garage Winery. They are Tank Winery here on Instagram. So use that name tag to follow them. And I saw at some point there was like 40 people that came in at one time tonight. So shout out to all the amazing people who want to know about rosé, and also the amazing people at Tank Garage Winery. And I think a lot of these people love what you guys do. So
thank you so much.
Thank you. So appreciate you spending some time with us.
Oh, it's been awesome. Yeah, and thank you for hosting, and it's been so fun hanging out with you. You know, and I appreciate Ed giving me a shameless plug. My wife and I, we have our own little our own project here, just making a little bit of wine. So that's been really fun. We make a rosé and a Mourvèdre, and you know, back to kind of leaning into our stories.
We have a few moments to talk about it.
Well, yeah, no, it's really fun. We started in 2017. We only made a couple of barrels of Mourvèdre. Like, we made 2 barrels of wine, and added our first rosé in 2019. And so, yeah, it's called Belong Wine Company. Kind of like our wedding song was, I belong with you, you belong with me, you're my sweetheart. Ho Hey by the Lumineers. And so it plays on that, but it also plays on, you know, what an incredible community we feel so lucky to be a part of here in the wine industry, and kind of everybody has each other's backs, and it really shows. And that's kind of how we were able to start our project, was kind of loan cellar space and having the right connection to source grapes, and just really kind of wanting to celebrate that. But also one thing, you know, in our day and age, to celebrate finding a place where you feel like you belong, and celebrating a sense of community.
Oh, so how can people connect with you on
yeah, so check us out on Instagram at Belong Wine Co. And then online, belongwines.com. You know, we have a little bit of tasting room, a small tasting space that we normally pop up at our custom crush winery, and you know, available online. And we ship to less places than Tank, but we ship to most places.
Listen, you ship to some, and you'll learn about how to ship to others.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at you, Illinois. Like one day, Illinois will happen.
Yes. Okay. And I'm from Illinois, so I'm here for that, because we can get to Awesome. And one more time, what's the Instagram name?
At Belong Wine Co. BELONG Wine Co.
Got it. So we're going to make sure we tag that today too.
Well, yeah, check it out. Thank you.
No, thank you. And we really, 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 really appreciate everything.
Oh, me too. It's been so fun chatting with you. We're so excited to have you out here in California soonish. Yeah, keep fighting the good fight, and keep spreading the good gospel of rosé.
Will do. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. Well, friends, it's been a great episode, and we will see you next week when we're talking to some distillers here in DC. See you next week.
Everybody drink rosé, rosé. So we sipping rosé. We gonna sip rosé, rosé. Sipping rosé. Baby girl, she don't play. So we sipping rosé. We're gonna sip rosé. That rosé hour, baby. Sipping rosé. Everything will be okay, okay. And we sipping rosé. We gonna sip rosé. And we sippin' rosé. Everything gon' be okay, okay. Cause we sippin' rosé. We gonna sip rosé. All the ladies, rosé. All the ladies, rosé. Cause we sippin' rosé. Chi-town, get up. We sippin' rosé. We gonna sip rosé. DC. LA, New York, we sippin' rosé. Everything gon' be okay. Dubai, we sippin' rosé. We gonna sip rosé. London, we sippin' rosé. Round the world, we sippin' rosé. Blowing them joints back. We gonna sip rosé. Rosé. Baby girl, she don't